And good evening. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here at the Highliner Activities Center on the Highliner Activity Network. I am your host, Paul McDonald. Of course, joined tonight by Derek Bear, our cameraman and technical director. Well, we were hoping we were going to get her on again, and we did. Abbey Thornton is going to join us to kick things off. And Abbey Thornton is a level 9 state champ in vault. How does that sound?
Good.
That was at the USAG state meet, which was in Grand Forks.
Fargo.
It was in Fargo a couple weeks ago, and you state champion vault. I guess question number one, when you got done with your routine, did you feel you had a good routine?
Yeah. I have, there was one other girl that we just do layouts, and that was the highest for level 9. So I knew it was just going to be a competition between us two. And I guess I was before her, and then I knew it was a really good vault.
And so you were able to sit and watch her, and when you saw her routine and her score, you kind of figured, okay, it's mine.
Yeah, she's been struggling. She had injuries, and she was sick this last season, so she said she's never really been able to get full-time back. But she has a really great vault, but it's just kind of a competition between us two.
Did you add some skills from your earlier competitions going into state?
Yeah, on bars I added a pirouette, and on beam I added a new dismount, and I connected my series.
And you took third in the all-around for that meet, which means you qualify for the regional, which is coming up here in a couple of weeks. I think the week, actually about a month. It's the week after Easter. North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Missouri, if memory serves. I looked it up. Yeah. I did some research, so you wouldn't have to memorize all the states. Those are all going to be in this regional. That is in, where's that going to be at? Do you know?
Minneapolis.
It's in Minneapolis. Yep. So now are you going to try to add some more to all of your routines or just certain ones?
Yeah. Well, floor, I started at 10.0, and vault, I started at 10.0. But bars, I started at a 9.9, so if I had an extra giant between it's a toe hand, but one of the skills to my dismount, and if we take that out, I'll start at a 10.0.
Okay.
And then we just need to clean up the pirouette to the bail because I struggled with that at the state meet. And then beam, we're hoping to add a back tuck and a round-off dismount instead of a cartwheel.
Okay, so difficult. Skills.
Well, and floor, I guess Johnny said he might want to throw a double back, double back, but that's only if it looks good.
Okay, okay. So it's going to depend on how it looks in practice and so forth. Now, if I heard correctly and read correctly, if you do well at the regional, I think you need to finish in the top 7 or get a 36. Then you would go on to the West Regional. We talked about your mental aspect and your mental makeup. Do you really feel that you have that you think you could come up with something like that?
Yeah. I think I'm pretty mentally strong for the sport. It's really difficult because my body aches all the time. It's really hard, especially being the only one in the gym right now. It's a lot on your body, but that's why we're taking a couple days off just to make sure I'm rested, and then I have to drink a lot of water. Yep. And then just being in the gym for 4 hours every day is a lot too. But I think I'll be fine.
Because I think the state meet was this past Saturday, because I saw you here for a little bit in the morning here at the Hack watching your cousin play in youth basketball. Was that kind of good for you, just kind of get a break and get away from thinking about what you were going to do later in the day?
Yeah. My mind runs really a lot, so it was nice.
It's constantly going, well, now as you look forward to this regional coming up here, what do you feel you need to do to get in that top 7? We said we feel you can, so what do you think you need to do?
I think I just need to clean up. We've been focusing on getting the skills, and now I have skills for sure. I just need to clean them up and just make sure that I go out there with a lot of confidence because basically it's a mental game. It's between you and yourself. So.
Okay, and you mentioned about being in the gym by yourself. Is that mental too? Because you're usually there. There are other gymnasts, other people around.
Yeah, I do have Maddie. She's there right now. She's a lot of help. She works really hard too. So we just go together really well. And there are the comp team they're there too, but we're in a different group than them. But Johnny pushes me really hard, so I have him too.
Okay. Well, it's just kind of that step. It's been a process, and I know that you'd like to get to that level 10. I mean, that's kind of your goal, isn't it? And what you accomplished this past weekend, in your mind, is it, hey, that was great, but we got to keep going.
It still wasn't good enough for me, but I think, just more steps.
It's baby steps to get to that ultimate goal.
Yep. And these next 4 weeks are going to be huge. I need to make sure I get everything, and I'm working hard in practice so the meet goes good. It's going to be a lot more nerve-wracking. It's in a bigger place, more teams. There's going to be a lot more people watching you. So just got to make sure that you stay focused.
How do you block that out? Do you?
Yeah, I block it out pretty well. I just, mentally visualize so then I can focus on just what I'm doing and just one skill at a time, basically, one event at a time.
And they always say, don't only worry about what you can control, and that's your routine. You can't control what other gymnasts are doing, so just worry about what you're doing. All right, well, it's coming up here. Again, it is the weekend after Easter, so doing the quick math, the 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, 24th that weekend in Minneapolis. If you get in that top 7 or you get that 36, the West Regional, you're still not going to be happy with that, right? Or are you?
I will be if I make it there.
Because that's the best is the furthest you've gone?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this how many years have you been doing USAG?
Oh gosh.
Second?
Well, I've been in the gym for 10 years maybe now.
Yep.
And when I was a kid, I competed all the time.
Sure.
And then just my 7th grade year, I didn't do it. I quit altogether in 8th grade. And then in 9th grade, I tried it again. And then I didn't do it last year.
Okay. So
a lot of years, but just in the harder levels, 2, 3.
Okay. Well, we first off, congratulations on being a state champion involved. And again, good luck on because that Wednesday after that, we're going to have you on again and maybe talk about moving on to the West Regional. But again, baby steps. Let's worry about the regional first, and we'll go from there. So, Abby, again, congratulations and good luck to you here in a month.
Thank you.
That is Abbey Thornton from Valley City Twisters. And, of course, it's at USAG. It was in Fargo here this past Saturday. She was the state vault champ, level 9 state vault champ. And, again, now going to the regional competition, which will be coming up here in Minneapolis the week after Easter. And she'll have a lot more competition coming up here. So we look forward to hearing how Abby does on that and hopefully have her back on the show before the West Regional later on. We'll be back with more here on our Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on the Highlander Activity Network here at the Hack, another edition of Coach's Corner on a beautiful Wednesday night, even though it's 30 degrees outside. We're hoping for a little bit warmer, especially this lady, wishing it was a little bit warmer. Hillary Flatt, head coach of the Highlander softball team. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. I would like to be a little warmer so you guys can get outside.
We did want to get outside today, and then that didn't work out. So me, the baseball coach, and the track coach were all emailing today to make sure that our schedules didn't conflict so we all could get in the gym and do what we needed to do.
Luckily, there's enough gym space around Valley City. We can get everybody what they need.
Yeah, the spring coaches are really good, too, about working together to make sure that all the kids can get what they need and get in and stuff like that. So it works out really well.
Well, the first game is scheduled for next Tuesday. But before we worry about the first game, Coach, how has practice been going with this group?
It's good. This group is definitely different than what we've had in the past. Usually we have a real seasoned group, so a lot of older girls coming back and things like that. But this year we have a lot of younger girls, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just very young. And so for coaching, it's different for me because I have to adjust my philosophy and the way we do stuff. But they're working really hard and they're trying their best. And that's really all we can ask for right now.
And, of course, you took a year off last year to have your young'un, and so back at it again this year. Now, one difference, obviously, it all starts in the circle. and a pretty good pitcher that graduated.
I mean, she was all right. So.
Yeah, she was okay. She was.
I mean, we got by. So.
She muddled through with her inner circle. But now, so that's kind of where it starts for you guys. Is that you're looking for? Now you're going to need those pitchers, someone to step up.
Oh yeah, like losing Haley. Like obviously, I'm very proud of her for playing in college and going to the next level because she worked really hard, so she deserved that. But just we're going to miss her attitude, her pitching, her bat, all that kind of stuff. We're just kind of missing that a little bit. But we have some girls that are trying to step up into that role. They don't have to be pitchers to do that. Autumn McGough's working really hard throwing. Sydney Larson's working really hard. Then we have a couple other younger girls that are trying to throw and work pretty hard too. So we're just looking for that one person to kind of spark things and kind of go from there.
And are you telling them too, we're not worried about your speed, but more your location and just throwing strikes?
Well, there's two different philosophies when it comes to pitching. So it's one is throw as hard as you can, and then your location will come. And the other one is work on your location, and then your strength will come, and then you'll be able to throw harder. My personal favorite is the second one, even though I wasn't a pitcher. But right now, we're just really trying to work on hitting those spots, throwing hard, and just doing those little things, so then that way we can take care of the rest. Because as much as it was great having Haley, I think the girls got used to a lot of strikeouts and doing things like that. And I don't know if we're there yet, but I'm hoping that we can get there. But again, the girls are working really hard. And if we do those little things, the bigger things will come.
Because if your pitcher is going to be around the strike zone, you got to be on the balls of your feet, ready to go. Because if she's around the strike zone, that means the ball's going to be put in play.
Yeah, we're in a good conference. We have a lot of good coaches and a lot of good hitting teams and stuff like that. So we need to be prepared and make sure that we're moving and doing what we need to do. So.
And Highlander softball's had a lot of success here in the last few years. I think I want to say three state tournament appearances.
This will be my 9th year coaching, and we have gone to state, with the exception of the COVID year, 7 times.
7 total.
Well, since I've been there, I think there's been more than that, but since I've been here,
Yeah, the COVID year, that was a tough year because you were coming off the state finish, and I think a great team coming back, and I think it would have been a fun run for the Highlanders. That kind of took a little bit away from the girls.
Oh yeah. Personally, so it kind of like my head coaching it kind of sucks a little bit because 2019 we went to state. We had a great team. I don't think a lot of people expected much from us, but the girls played really well. Just an overall really good group. I was really proud to be part of that. Second year, the day that we were supposed to start the season, that's when they canceled school, and we had to kind of push everything back. Then last year having the baby, which I don't know if I'd call that taking a year off.
Right. No, you did from softball.
Yeah. Having the baby. So then I wasn't really around as much as I would have liked to have been last year. So then this year coming back, so I've really had 2 years off coaching. So it's exciting for me to be back, but it's different with what we have. But yeah, having a great season and coming back and just not being able to do that did kind of it sucked. But now we're able to come back and do that. But the girls are really excited. I think that's the biggest thing every day at practice. They're just so happy to be here. And I've been really fortunate too with the groups that we do have. Everyone's so positive and they're so nice, and it's a really nice group to be a part of.
Well, some of the young ladies were out here when they're getting ready, and I was talking with Emma Langemo. She says, "I'm just pumped. I just want to get the season going. I'm ready to go." Yeah,
we have a lot of girls that are really excited. A lot of girls that play travel ball in the summer, and so this is a way to kind of kick that off and to get going with it. So yeah, we have a really energetic group.
Expectations. Do you guys set any goals or have any expectations?
Every year on the first day of practice, one of the main things we do is we have the girls, we get into their grades, and girls need to talk about what their individual goals are, and then we need to make team goals. And a lot of the team goals are pretty standard, make playoffs, go to state, all that kind of stuff. But really this year, I just want the girls to learn from things. I think one of the big things with softball, and baseball too, it can be really frustrating. You have a lot of, failure in this game, and I think some kids can take that personally. They think that they're not doing well, and so just to kind of move forward and be able to control what you can control, work on those little things, and not let everything get you down. And if you're not doing well, your teammate's going to pick you up. So just doing some of that stuff, I think, will really help this year. So really controlling what we can control is my main expectation this year.
Any teams, who do you see as being some of the top teams in the EDC this year?
I would really like it if West Fargo was not in our conference anymore. I'm pretty tired of playing Pat and the girls, but they're always really good. I think a lot of the teams, though, around the conference have lost some players, which is good for us, too, since we're kind of rebuilding this year. But I don't know. All the Fargo teams are really usually pretty good. We have some games against some of the Bismarck teams. So, softball in North Dakota has really picked up. So a lot of the teams are really good. So it's nice to be part of that.
I know for several years the state tournament was called the West Fargo Invite.
Yeah.
Because they pretty much won it every year, except for one.
Well, there's been plenty of games where we've been on the opposite end of that, and it's just really, it's the worst.
Well, again, the first game is Tuesday, weather permitting, and a lot of things. It's kind of a day-by-day wait and see. Who is on the schedule for that day?
Fargo North.
It is a North.
Yep.
Okay, Fargo North. So we'll wait and see where things play out. But they're just ready to get going, aren't they? They're just excited to get out. Have you been outside? Had a chance yet?
No. So we were inside all last week, and then so usually what we do at the beginning of the week, we try to meet at the school so we can figure out what we're doing and stuff like that. So on Monday it was kind of windy. Like some of the girls had like classes, and some of the girls were at track, so it was just a little bit easier to stay here. So we did that, and we hit. And so then Tuesday we wanted to get outside, but then that was even worse, so we didn't do that. And then today, I mean, now it's sunny out, so it's like as we're seeing this, and it wasn't like this today. But the plan was to be outside today, but then how everything was, it just didn't work out. So we were inside today, and it can get hard being inside all the time. But again, I would rather be inside, work on some small skills that we can do rather than tear up the fields. But I'm hoping that we can get outside tomorrow and Friday.
Because, outside, that's where you practice your fly balls and your ground. You can hit grounders in here, but it's a little different than it is on that agri line. Everything's
just limited inside. We have to use different balls. For outfield, it's a lot shorter. Infield, you can kind of get by, but you don't get necessarily the same hops and everything. And, it's just a different environment. But I'm hoping, again, really hoping that we can get outside tomorrow.
All right. Well, let's hope we can get outside tomorrow, and then we have a game on Tuesday. Let's just get the season going.
Yep.
All right. Well, Hillary, I appreciate you stopping by. Welcome back. I know you didn't take a year off, but it's good to have you back, and we look forward to seeing you on the batting cage this year.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much for having me.
You bet. That is Coach Hillary Flatt joining us from the Highlanders softball. We'll be back and talk baseball. That's on the way as the Highlanders Coaches Show, Coaches Corner, continues on the Highlander Activity Network. Welcome back to Coach's Corner here from the Highlander Activity Center on the Highlander Activity Network. And now we're talking baseball, another spring sport. And we're joined by first-year head coach Seth Soderholm. Seth, how you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate you coming, and welcome to you're a head coach, but you've been around the program for a few years now, haven't you?
Yep. Yeah, I spent the last 2 summers assistant coach in Legion behind Chase Carpenter. Mm-hmm. And then last spring I did a little junior high. So I've been around the program for 3 seasons.
3 seasons. And speaking of that, last summer, I guess that was really a question I was going to think of right off the top, but since you brought it up, I'll just ask it. The great summer that Post 60 had, that the Royals had, is going all the way to the national tournament in Wisconsin. You got some of those kids that played there that are going to be on the varsity team. How big of an experience for the kids, for these guys that they had last summer, parlay into what they can do this spring?
I hope quite a bit, because it was a pretty big deal, going on a run like that at the end. I hope it gave them a lot of confidence for the upcoming season, and then hopefully it just keeps building into next summer and so on and so forth. And because you need things like that to go your way to have a good program.
Especially when your springs are kind of short. If you can get a good long summer in, the guys, it only will help you come spring because you have the extra ABs, the extra innings, and all that, isn't it?
Yeah, summer. That's where your meat and potatoes is. Spring's just kind of hit the ground rolling, and you got a couple months. But summer's more stretched out and a lot of time.
It's the spring training.
Yep, pretty much.
But I'm not taking anything away from the high school ball, absolutely not. But and this year it seems like the EDC is going to be a little different. I think some teams are. I know Fargo. Some have already played in Legion ball. They're just kind of changing things up a little bit, and that's of course because of the numbers. They got the numbers. They could do something like that. Does that affect you guys at all?
It doesn't affect what we're going to do as a team. Yep. I mean, we're still going to go out there and put our best 9 forward, and whoever we're playing against, we're playing against. If it's less guys because they're playing Legion, good. If not, good. Can't change anything about it anyways. So,
being that you've been a part of the summer program the last couple of seasons, and you did some junior, you said junior high last year, but has that made the transition as to head coach a little bit easier for you?
Yeah, because I kind of the last 2 summers or so I got to know those older group of kids who are on varsity now, and then last spring I got to learn some of those younger freshmen, sophomores that are also 9 through 12 now, so that helped a lot. Learning names and families, and just getting learning the community better.
Yeah, and you've been here. You were a Viking,
yep.
So you've been around the community for a few years, and know how fun baseball can be at Charlie Brown during the spring and summer. This just like in softball, we were talking about pitching. It starts with the people on the mound. Where do you feel you sit as far as arms this year?
Good. We got a good. We're not so top heavy as we have been in years past. We have a good group of solid guys that it's hard to even pick when we're going to go certain innings with certain guys, just because everyone's pretty similar, which is it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is. It is. If you have enough arms, that's always the key. Just if you got If you can throw strikes, you're going to be a pitcher on a team at this level. Throwing strikes is so key. What is your philosophy offensively? Are you a hit-and-run kind of guy? Do you like a fundamental baseball, what they call ABC? You get them on, you get them over, get them in. What's your philosophy?
A little bit of everything. If we have to lay down a bunt here and there, we lay down a suicide squeeze, whatever, we'll do that too. But, I like hitting doubles and balls in the gap too. So it's you kind of just got to roll with the punches and not set everything in stone, I feel like.
It's a game situation type thing, isn't it? If it's a close game, that might call for a bunt here, or because you're not going to have a 5-run homer.
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes you just got to chip away with small ball, and that's what we'll do if we have to. If we can hit doubles and homers all day, we'll do that. I'll gladly do that.
How about defensively, too? Do you feel these guys, again, getting outside with the defense, but how about defensively? If you got pitchers throwing strikes, how are you doing behind them?
Well, yeah, that's the good thing about getting outside last week. We're getting real ground balls and real fly balls on the field because, spring in North Dakota, you never know what you're going to be on conditions-wise. So we're ready for a lot of action if our guys are throwing strikes.
Mm-hmm. Goals? Any goals or expectations set for this team?
Just be competitive every game. We want to be playing our best baseball at the end of the spring, and we'll see what happens then.
It is just a game-by-game philosophy for you, Seth, being that it's your first year as the head man. We're not going to worry about the whole wins and losses. Let's just go out there and do what we can do.
Just want to see continued growth. I hope every day we're in that's our worst day of the year, and we're just getting better off of that.
The most important game is the next game.
Exactly.
I know that's a philosophy we've heard from a lot of coaches. They always say the most important game is the next game. You, too, are scheduled for a Tuesday on the road, I think, your first game. Fargo North as well, or Davies? That is Davies. Yep. What are the possibilities, or is that a day-by-day for you guys as well?
It looks good right now.
Okay.
I know it can change very fast, but we're planning on it right now. We're planning on playing two EDC counters next week, and that's what we're gearing up for.
And moving on from there. Well, we're just glad that the season's here. Get a chance to get out and get to Charlie Brown and watch some baseball, or, of course, the Thurlson and over the softball complex and watch the softball team. The attitude, too. I guess these guys are chomping at the bit, ready to play, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had guys getting swings at open gyms all winter. I think they're ready to compete and play see some people who aren't ourselves. We get some live ABs in. It's nice to see somebody who you don't know what you're going to get from.
Do you have any power or not?
Some.
We don't give it away.
Yeah, we have guys who hit doubles. I don't think we'll hit a ton of home runs. We have a few guys who can, but I'd say gap to gap kind of team.
Gap hitters.
We have we have a decent amount of speed.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
The base running and the speed.
Yep.
Getting, and not just stolen bases, but getting from first to third on base hits and things like that.
Yeah, I'd say, just looking on paper right now, we probably have one of the faster left sides of the infield and the EDC with Gavin Gerhardt and Ethan Miller. Those guys keep the ball on the ground. They'll beat out ground balls. They'll stretch singles into doubles and that sort of thing.
That'll put pressure on the defense.
Yep,
doesn't
that's our goal. Make them make plays. That's what it comes down to.
All right, and they always say you put a ball in play because if you put a ball in play, 3 things can happen. 2 are good, either an error or a base hit.
Especially at this level, and especially in the spring where everyone's a little, we're still getting the rust off.
All right. Well, Seth, I appreciate it. And again, like I said, you've been around, so it's just first year as a head coach, but we look forward to seeing you around the batting cage and the ball field this spring and summer. And welcome aboard, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. You bet. No problem. That is Seth Soderholm, the head baseball coach for the Valley City Highliners. And again, their first game scheduled for this Tuesday as they will take on Fargo Davies and that's in Fargo, if memory serves, road game to start the season. We'll be back with more of our Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network.